Okay, thank you so much for coming in, mate. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. This is a different studio than I've been to before, so very nice, homely. It reminds me of something that my older brother would have in like a flat. My elder brother's more of the retro kind of boy.
Yeah, we
like me.
Bit of a hipster, your kid, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Our Wesley was very. He's the bright one of the family.
Architect, isn't he?
He's not. He's a graphic designer. He was the only one out of the four of us who went to university. He's a clever boy. He's my brother who I look up to. So
nice. So retirement. What are you up to? Retirement at the young age of 30. In your 30s, sorry.
36, mate. I wish I was 30. I wish I could go back to 30 again. Yeah. I'm retired from getting punched in the face. I'm not retired from day-to-day life. So it's if anything, I'm busier now than I ever was when I was fighting, because when I was fighting, the nicest and best way of putting it is I wouldn't entertain idiots or fools that waste me time. And now that I've retired, I kind of have to entertain these people to do the things that need doing. So catch-22, but I'll say retired from getting punched in the face. I'm helping a couple of fighters now, managing them. I don't gain nothing financially from it. I'm just trying to help them. Local lads in the area, lads I've known since they were kids. And I'm just trying to give them a leg up, help them out, and then get them to a level where they can manage themselves and leave me alone. Because that's just a ball ache as well. But I'm happy, mate. Trying my best day to day to just keep a smile on my face.
So do you miss like the all action sort of being in camp and all that, and the build up to the fights? Or are you still seeing a little bit of it now because you're still involved?
I miss fighting, if I'm being totally honest. I wish I could just fight tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I could just carry on fighting. I really, really miss fighting. That's the hardest thing for me to give up. I enjoy fighting on a day-to-day basis. I wish I could have done it more. I'm not going to lie, mate, I don't miss the intense levels of training I used to go to. I don't just say it. I don't just say it for the gimmick. I trained harder than anyone I've ever met in my life. Everything was harder for me. And it was harder because I wasn't a naturally blessed athlete. At 15 years old, I was 15 stone.
Yeah.
I was quite a hefty kid when I was in school. I always played football with my friends. I was not bad at football. But the truth and the fact of the matter is I was too fat and too heavy to be doing anything else besides fighting. And I don't know, I couldn't. I wish I would have stayed more at school, but I got expelled from school for, believe it or not, fighting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought it?
That's a shock.
Yeah.
And I wish I wanted to stay on and do A-level PE. And in fact, they invited me back. I got expelled for doing someone an awful lot of damage to the face in a fight. He stabbed me in the face with a compass. And I smashed his jaw and knocked his teeth out with my fists, all for the sake of helping someone else. So,
is that where the nickname Bomber came from then? Or?
The nickname Bomber come from me old football manager. So I was having my third or fourth amateur fight, and my friends at this point only seen me fight once before, and this was the first time me football manager Stevie Arden, his name was, he managed me for Edgill, and he come into the Montrose Club, the Montrose Social Club in Anfield. It made this place as a dive. It was just full of smoke. We were boxing in there, and I flattened this kid in the second or third round. I hit him on the button and boom, he just went down. And Stevie Arden shouts out, "Come on, the Bomber!" all over the Montrose, and it stuck.
Yeah,
it stuck from there. As a kid, mate, when I was going to the boxing gym, well, I say as a kid, I was 14, 15, first time I went into a boxing gym, and me first person who ever taught me to box was Terry Quinn. He's not here no more. He was a coach at the old Kenny Boxing Club that created ABA champions like John Lynch.
Yeah.
And he was the man who literally taught me the basics of boxing. Well, my dad taught me first, but then he was the first proper coach who showed me how hard work pays off. And he's no longer with us, no more what a fella he was. But I didn't, in all honesty, take it seriously while I was with him, because I was still messing around with boxing a little bit. At 14, I was in school, and as a young lad, well, you're always interested in girls and football. So, that's what I was chasing. And I knew I was going to leave school with no qualifications, because, I wasn't the brightest. I tried at certain subjects, but, I just used to dream of playing football for Everton. I went to Everton. I had a season ticket for about 3 or 4 seasons that my dad got me, and I'd go every week. And every week I could go, I'd be there. And I just always wanted to play football, and I'd play Saturday league, Sunday league. You're just not good enough. Simple as that, mate. And you just got to be honest with yourself and hold your hands up. So when I got to 15 and I'd left, I'm coming to the end of school, I got expelled when I was 15. And I just thought, what am I going to do? I thought, well, you know what, I'll give this boxing a go. I'm obviously pretty good because the coaches tell me, listen, you've got so much ability and talent. At this stage, all as I was doing then in my spare time was studying boxing. So I studied the likes of Roy Jones Jr. I used to beg my dad to buy me tapes from America and fly them over and get them over here. And I'd study tape after tape of the likes of Roy Jones Jr. I would study and read about Muhammad Ali. I would study and read what created and what made Mike Tyson. Like I said, although I wasn't bright, when I was fascinated about something, and I would let it consume me, and I was so driven and determined, and I wish I could have applied that same mental attitude towards other things in my life. But with boxing, I applied it, and I gave it everything, mate. Everything I possibly had, I had to give to boxing. Like I said, if I'd have done that in school, I'd probably be a bleeding genius.
It's how many people say that comment where they're just talking about the academic structure of school and the book learning and say I wasn't the brightest, and it amazed me because like sometimes you'll just go, well, all right, maybe they're just not that intellectual, but some people articulate can take information on, process it and learn complicated techniques of a sport, and you sort of feel like saying to them like no, you shouldn't say that because you clearly are, you just weren't academically books. You know, there's things you learn in secondary school really. How much of it is actually useful anyway?
My mate, who's one of the best journalists in the whole country, his name's Christopher Walker, and I've known Chris since we were 10, 11 years old.
Yeah. And
Chris always says to me, you are bright, you know. He said, you don't understand, to be able to take on the information that you've absorbed through boxing. He said, there's nothing you don't know. He said, you go back as far as, I have strange things in my head that I don't even know how to do. Like, Mike Tyson's first ever opponent was Hector Mercedes. He was 21 years old in 5 months when he wins the first heavyweight championship of the world, and he'd be the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. You know, Ben Lopkins loses. I don't know how like, I'll forget things from my own career. How do I go back and remember these things, you know?
I think anywhere though you dive in like that yourself, I think schools is someone trying to ram information down your throat.
Yeah.
And you find yourself drifting off, don't you? Whereas I think if you apply yourself to something, it sinks in. It sinks in, you know, even if you just read something once, if you're really passionate about it, because you're pushing yourself.
As I say, once I left school, as I say in school, football and girls, mate, you chase them. And when you're, you know, a big, heavy kid, you're going to get skittered. So the next thing you do, mate, is you should have a fight. And if you come from Liverpool, you're good at one of two things, telling jokes or fighting. Thankfully for me, mate, I can do a bit of both. But it was just, I just didn't pay attention where I should have. I'm urging my kids to now. But they're raised in different worlds to me. The world we live in when I was a kid, living off Lawrence Road and trailing up and down Smithdown Road, going to Chatty to see my mates, going to Earl Road to see my mates, getting the 86 bus to the Rodney. I just live a different way of life, and the world's different now. Like, there's no youth clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get down to where I'm from enough as much as I like to. I go there once a week to get my haircut, see the lads. And my mum still lives there, but there's no youth club. So I used to have a choice of youth clubs when I was a kid growing up. The Rec, which was on Earl Road. The Action, which was on Tunnel Road, or just by Tunnel Road. You had the Unity by Alfie's off Lodge Lane, and you had the Rodney. So I constantly attended the Rodney or the Rec on Earl Road. It was one of the two. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday it was the Rodney. Tuesday, Thursdays it was the Rec. And as I say, that's what my childhood consisted of. And my friends, we went there. So in the Rec, it was a room not much bigger than these two rooms, and we played football with a sponge ball, and I kicked absolute 10 bells out of each other. I mean, broke our feet, cracked our own, bled, everything's covered in sweat when you've finished. Or you play in the Rodney indoor pitch, proper pitch, with a indoor stadium around where people would sit down and bang on the things at the top when you're playing. Just really good times. I wish my kids could experience that and have that for themselves, because the memories and the person it's created is this now what I am.
Yeah, I was having this conversation with my wife on Saturday. Like, it's difficult. You can't really replicate it, can you? Because it's that sort of, that humility really comes across. It's come across throughout your career. You know, I remember, although I was aware of your career and stuff, really hit home when you were in the Echo Arena and you fought Cleverly. And
Which one?
You
first or the second?
The first one, your post-fight interview. But your post-fight interview in that first one, was unbelievable. It was just raw emotion coming out.
Oh, mate, you know what? I thought going after that fight, I thought, right, it's a really hard fight. I wanted to win it. I still to this day think I won it, but I didn't get the decision. And I'm a man before I'm a boxer. I'm a normal human being, and you have emotions. And a lot of fighters are, I'm tough, I'm hard, and I'm not really. And after that fight, I thought I'd won that, but I was heartbroken, mate. Literally, that's your loss. That you feel like your world's ended. It wasn't until the next day that I thought, well, I thought I won it, so it didn't feel that bad. The worst feeling I ever had was after Donna Stevenson. Without a shadow of doubt, that's when my heart was truly broke. You cry yourself to sleep. You don't want to come out the house for days. You basically hide away. And believe you me, the losses hurt so much more than the wins, and you never get rid of them in your mind. Especially, don't get me wrong, it was hard to take the Donna Stevenson one because I knew the reasons why I'd lost. Number one's weight. I know what I am, but I've lost to a fellow who's a huge puncher, mate. So even if you make it weight easy, he can still end the fight instantly with one punch. So can I, but at that weight, I'm not as capable of doing it as I was as I go through the weight. Yeah. So losses you deal with, and it's life really. You know, you have to deal with the ups and the downs, and day-to-day struggles and problems. But as I say, at them kind of stage, after Cleverly won, I was gutted. But then the guttedness, it's not even a word, the heartbreak soon turns to anger because of the way he portrayed me and what he said. So in the boxing ring after the first fight, he come between, he said to me, it's the hardest fight I've ever had. He said, this is a really close fight. He said, I think I've got it, but it could go either way. Yeah. I thought, you know what, I couldn't stand him. It was a very heated, build up. We didn't like each other. I still don't like him now. He's an arsehole. He'll always be a gobshite to me. Don't know whether they're swearing loud on this, but that's what he is to me. He is what he is. But that's what he said to me and when we spoke in the ring, and there was an embrace, and that was it. He went in a press conference 25 minutes later and said to the media, Tony Bellew, you can't punch. That was one of the easiest fights I've had. I beat him with one hand, and I've also got a cracked rib. Jeez. And I didn't know this on the night. Someone told me the next day, and I watched the post-fight press conference back and seen the words he said, seen a quote in the Echo and stuff like that, and I was absolutely furious, because one thing I've prided myself on all my life is whatever I've got to say to the media, I will say to someone's face. That's just the way it is. And some people go, well, you can do that because you're a boxer. No, that's just called being straight. People can have an opinion of me. It doesn't have to be nice. I'm not going to do anything about it, because you know why? Because you're entitled to an opinion. I'm entitled to an opinion of whatever I want, and you're entitled to your opinion of whatever you want. But to say one thing to you in person and be honest, and then an absolute completely different thing, it was just the portrayal of the highest, in my opinion, and we never embraced it ever since.
Especially when emotions are so high just after a fight like that. To say something and not be true.
So, mate, it was just... But that's the kind of person that he is, and that's the way it'll be. And I'll never forget, even after the rematch, when I beat him, and I really did beat him up in the rematch, I just got him on the ropes and bullied him for 12 rounds, punched about 10 bells out of him. Wasn't an exciting fight to watch. I apologise still. But I just beat him up thoroughly, won basically every round and done a number on him. And we were supposed to have a chat in my dressing room after it, and separate our straight ways. So my closest friend who was with me from start to finish, Gary, come in the room and he said, listen, he wants to talk to you. And I said, right, empty the room out. I said, it's just going to be me and him in this dressing room. And bear in mind, when you win a fight, you've got 40, 50 people waiting to get in your dressing room, talk to you at boxing. It's the circus is well and truly trying to get in your dressing room. I was very fortunate in my career. I have 4 or 5 people around me my whole career, and that was it. But you don't see that in many careers, especially to the levels I've got. Yeah. So my friend was about to empty the dressing room out, and then he went out. He must have spoke to him. Then he come back and he said he wants to come in, but he wants to come in with his girlfriend. I said, this is no place for it, because I don't know what's going to happen here. Because I'm going to say some things to him, he's going to say some things to me. We might knock 10 bells out of here in this room, just me and him, but I'll tell you something, we'll shake hands at the end of it and leave like men, and it'll be over. Whatever's between us will be over. And he went, no, he won't come in without his girlfriend. And so they'll tell him to shove it up his backside. I don't want to know.
I wonder why he wouldn't come in on his
I'll never know. Probably because I was going to say a few things to him, but hopefully he was going to say certain things to me, but he wouldn't come in.
He's probably thought, I don't trust him to be just me and him. If she's there, he might not.
Yeah, but
it goes far.
So my plan was not to be in any kind of altercation with him or physical contact, but I was going to tell him why put to him straight and just be honest and straight. And I wanted him to do the same back to me, but you know, he could have come in and said, listen, my father told me to say that, my uncle told me to say that, and I'd gone, well, you're still a coward, you know, you're your own man, you should have said what you said to me in the person, but he didn't, and we left it at that. And you know, because I hope I've ever seen him in the modern day, because we wouldn't get on, we just don't get on at all.
Is he still fighting though?
No, he retired. He retired, and it is what it is. I have no malice towards him, and that's this, because I have no hate or malice towards anyone. It takes too much energy in your life.
Yeah, 100%.
What I do have is just I don't forget. I just think you are what you are. Go your way, go mine, leave me alone.
Cards marked.
Yeah, you get exactly cards marked. Stay well away from me. So that's it, mate. Besides that, I'd say that's the only one. I know what people say, what about David A? It's a completely different situation with David A.
Does it help though? Like, does it help to really dislike them in terms of how you build up and how you...
I hated them all, besides one. I hated every opponent I fought. I hated them walking to the ring. I wanted to do them damage. That I don't mean that in any way to leave permanent physical damage on them, but I wanted to render someone unconscious for 10 seconds and then you wake up and go home.
Did you have to find it? Did you have to find the reason to hate them though? Because you wouldn't just hate them instinctively.
They all gave me it over the years. Yeah. They all gave me something. There was always something that they would give me. The only one I could hand on heart say I didn't want to hurt and I actually liked him and found him quite funny was Danny McIntosh.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just thought he was a lad who I could get on with. Yeah. I thought, you know what, you're someone I could get on with and you're funny and I like you've got banter and I like you. But I had to change that, mate, and get that out of my mentality because I fought him after the first fight with Cleverly. He was my first fight back, defending my British title. So, you know, I was going into that fight. You lose that fight, my career's over. And I've been in that position a number of times, and that is the worst feeling you will ever feel. That is the most pressure you will ever feel when you walk into a boxing ring. So that's what AJ's going to feel when he faces Andy Ruiz in December. You walk to that boxing ring and your career's on the line. There's very few fighters who have felt it, you know, in recent times. So Derry Matthews has felt it a number of times. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. When you walk in that ring, mate, and if I lose this tonight, it's all over. And it's not a nice pressure. I felt it with the first time I felt it, bloody hell. Rematch with Oval Mackenzie was the first time I felt it. Then it went on to rematch with Cleverly, because even that you don't feel it in the Adonis teams fight, because I know there's a way back if I lose. Yeah, I'm moving up. I know for the fact I'm moving up in weight anyway, so
there are big factors externally.
Yeah, that I know I've got options, but in the rematch with Cleverly, I'm cruiserweight now. There's no excuses. If I don't beat him here, I'm retiring. I was giving up. And I also had the movie Creed in the background as well. And the producers for Creed and the director and MGM and Warner Brothers knew if I didn't beat Cleverly in that rematch, I wasn't doing the movie.
So you were already aware of the potential to do that?
I'd agreed on, in principle, everything to the movie. And I was the last person to sign a contract to take the part, because they didn't interview anybody else for the part of Pretty Ricky Conlon. Ryan Coogler identified me as the person he wanted and he wouldn't go with anyone else. He told the studios, I don't want anyone else, I want him. I wish I knew that before I agreed my final money, but I didn't. He's my friend now, he'll be a lifelong friend forever. But yeah, that's what he done. And I said, Cougs, I said, I can't sign the contract until, he said, Tony, you've got to sign it before. I said, Cougs, I can't. I said, because I'm not making a movie. I'm making, if I've just lost a fight, I'll be embarrassed, I won't want to be seen. So I always remember him sending me a picture. All of Warner Brothers and all the cast, Sly, everyone sat down and watched Bellew Cleverly 2 in the States. I can only apologise once again, it was a horrendous fight, but it doesn't matter, I won.
The right result, mate.
Yeah, so that's the kind of pressure I've gone into fights with, that pressure on me. Then after that, European title fight, Mateusz Masternek, I lose to him. I can't be a world champion. That was a big pressure fight. After him, my third and final opportunity for the world title against the Lunga Maccabi with Goodison Park. That's the worst pressure I've felt my whole life. I've never felt pressure like that. That was the worst feeling I've ever had. And I enjoy fights. I love fighting. It excites me. I like fighting. I've got a screw loose. So have you two too, but I can admit it, I understand it. But mate, Goodison Park, I can't explain the nerves I felt that night. I just walking the ring, looking at Gladys Street, I close my eyes, I can always see it, but the fear, I was basically shitting myself. And bear in mind, you've seen me in a boxing ring before. I'm fighting the former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, former heavyweight champion of the world, Dave Haye. I'm dancing, I'm laughing, chilling out and relaxed. No pressure on me, I wasn't bothered. But for the Goodison Park, mate, I was walking that ring and I had the fear of God in me. And then when I got knocked down, he broke my nose in that first round. Jesus fucking hell. I don't even know. I got through it.
I remember sat with Phil Kirkbride, just going, when you got knocked down, just going, oh, fuck no. No.
The crowd was
like
so
literally
loud.
couldn't happen.
The crowd was so loud and brilliant. And I was so on top in the first round. Everything was going perfect. I had him on the ropes, nailed him with a body shot. I got a wince out of him. And then as my coach says, you got fucking greedy. That's how he speaks, little legs. You got greedy. And I jumped on him too soon and I gave him the opportunity. He nailed me. Broke my nose instantly on impact. As soon as he nailed me there, my nose just snapped.
Did you sort of know as well?
Yeah. I knew. As soon as he hit me, mate, he could hit so hard. Only Haye hits harder than him who I've faced in my career. I'd say it was Haye. I'd say it's a toss-up between McCarthy and Stevenson. Stevenson punched very hard. He hit me that hard on the forehead, I heard a crunch in my skull, like he crushed my skull. I'm going back to the corner thinking, he's crushed my skull. What am I going to do? My skull's soft. I just heard crunch when he hit me that hard in the middle of the head. Oh, mate, he could punch Adonis Stevenson. But McCarthy with me, and he another once again, he just crushed my nose to my face. And I thought, if I don't get rid of him in these next 3 rounds, my nose is just going to, I'm going to lose that much blood through your nose.
Breathe, yeah.
You couldn't breathe, and you through your mouth, and the minute you constantly open your mouth, your jaw's getting broke next after your nose. So, yeah, the pressure.
That was a unbelievable feeling of emotion though when you finished that, because of the build up to it, because it was at Goodison.
Yeah, that was, I can't explain, mate. I couldn't put it into words. The greatest moment in my career. I'd say life, but I've got a marriage and I have 3 kids to think about. So it's the greatest moment in my career ever.
It was the biggest risk as well, because when like everyone knows you, and you've already said since we've started chatting, what a big part Everton played in your life.
It's huge.
So, and the pressure.
Most of the Saturdays since the age of 11 years old, I've either been at Goodison watching the match or sitting there watching them, supporting them, or they've just been a big part of my life. I always dreamed of being an Everton footballer. My elder brother took me Craig when I was just a kid. I said my dad get me that season ticket in the Gladys Street. It was just, I look back and I think, how did they even get to the ring? Because I was that nervous. And the pressure that brought to me the most was, if I would have lost that fight, I would have never gone to Goodison Park again. I wouldn't have been able to show my face. As I said before, the losses hurt so much more than the wins.
So the lower the loss is worse than the higher the win, type thing.
It stays with you for long. It just stays with you forever. Don't get me wrong, in the last one, as you get older and you realise what's important in life and what's not, I don't know. I didn't take it better. I'm still heartbroken and I'm gutted, but I could accept it more, because for the first time in my whole career, I was just beaten by a better man. And I can have that, I can live with that, but I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I didn't fight him. And then I was always thinking, woulda, shoulda, coulda. I had to face him because I had to know how good I was. Because in all honesty, until I faced Usyk, I didn't know how good I was. Because I didn't feel like I'd been beaten genuinely, fairly by anyone. I did lose to Adonis Stevenson, yes I did, but there's defining factors of why, and there's reasons that I couldn't make a case for anyone else beating me. So facing Usyk, don't get me wrong, it's still niggles away at me a bit, because he wants to do it heavyweight, and I was so adamant on fighting for all them 4 belts that I demanded it be a cruiserweight, and I was the A side hugely going into the fight, you know, on the money side, everything. It was all in my favour. I could have made them walk the ring first if I wanted to. I could have done anything I wanted to, but I didn't. I respected them and I showed that respect. I let him walk the ring second. I let him have his name on the poster first. All the things that you see these divas and tarts doing, bitches doing in the world of boxing, I could have done, but I didn't. The only thing I done was to make sure I got a hell of a lot more money than he did. But that's because of the position what I brought to the table.
Yeah.
But like I said, he brought the hardware and I respected that. I still respect him to this day. We get on great when I see him. We shake hands, we talk, we have a laugh and a joke, and we go our separate ways. But I had to do it. I had to find out how good I was. And the thing that niggles at me now is after 7 rounds, I'm ahead. I'm beating the best boxer in the world. Possibly the greatest cruiserweight that's ever lived, but ultimately I get tired and you can't. Now there's no factors for that. Is it age? Is it you've come down too much in weight? Because I got married in July to Rach, and I got July 7th last year, and I got married, and then we went on a honeymoon a week after the wedding, and it was on the honeymoon that he fights Gassiev. I was only away for 4 or 5 days in Mykonos. I'm in a bar with Rach, we're having a honeymoon, and the fella who owns the bar puts something on. First of all, the fella on a phone, and then someone gets it on a screen somewhere. He says, look who's on. It's Gassiev versus Usyk, the WBSS final, whatever it's called. And I said, I'm not interested. He said, no, look, watch. I'll start watching it. My missus is watching it. Aunt, you retired. What do you even care for? I said, I don't know yet, but let me just see it. It's only 5-10 minutes left. Let me just have a look at it. I watched it. I sees him with all 4 belts, and I'm looking at it, and it still didn't even sync with me then. And then I just did Tony Bellew, and I thought, for fuck's sake. I thought, I can't have it. I just thought, I can't have him shouting my name and I'm not answering, mate. So this is the reason why you shouldn't get pissed. Have your mobile phone on you. I was on my honeymoon. I was half cut, and I phoned Eddie in. And I said, have you just seen that? And he went, yeah, I'm watching it. I said, make the fight. I said, phone fucking Krasiev, whatever his name is, his manager, and make the fight. A Tone, you don't need it. Why would you, walk off into sunset? You've had an amazing career. You've made enough money. What you want to do, just leave it alone. I said, are you going to make the fucking fight or not? I said, phone them up and make the fight. It's fucking 2:30 in the morning. Goes to bed. Had a great night with my wife. I'm chilling out. A bit too much to drink, so gets up rough. Phone goes about 11 o'clock in the morning. Eddie, fight's made, sorted. He'll do whatever it takes. All he wants is X amount for a flat fee. It's done. He'll fight you wherever and whenever. You've got the rights of everything. He said, Tony said, he'll do anything to fight you. Because, they want to build their name in the UK pay-per-view market, and this the best way of doing it is you. He said, but he wants to do it at heavyweight, and I said, go back to him and tell him, none in a million years are we fighting a heavyweight. I said, tell him we're fighting a cruiserweight, and I want all the belts. So he said, Tony, you've been after a tide since you've beat Haye. He said, and everyone thinks you're kind of walking away. I said, what about the sanctioning bodies? He said, leave that to me. He said, the sanctioning bodies will love you to fight for all their belts. Phone call back the next day. All the sanctioning bodies have confirmed they can't wait for Tony Bellew to fight for the belts. They looked at me, and Usyk come out loud and said he classed me as the best cruiserweight in the world until he won a world title. I won the world title and then gave it up to fight Haye. So it was mad how it all worked out, but in the end it all come together. The sanctioning bodies confirmed it, and I went ahead with it, mate. So it's just mad night.
So had you decided then before that were you retiring either way, win or lose?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you not think if you would have won that and then another big offer comes, I knew
what the offer was coming. Andre Ward was gonna fight me for all the belts of cruiserweight. I know he was gonna, and I'm mates with Dre as well. We get on great. We were on the set of Creed together, and I just caught up with him the weekend at the show. Then we've just seen big hug, get on great. Me and him just bond. I'm going over the West Coast soon to see Cougs. My friend who directed the movie, because he's friends with Andre as well, and we'll all catch up and spend the day together or doing whatever, we chill out with the families and stuff. But me and him would have fought, definitely. Even though we're friends, we would have fought, because he's, in my opinion, one of the greatest fighters of my era and generation, Andre Ward. And I think me and him would have been a great fight. I'd have had a terrible headache. I'd have had a terrible headache for days after fighting him, because he's someone you get up close and you're taking stick. He's going to make it a dogfight, and I love that kind of fight. No one in the UK or in my career has ever been able to give me the fight that I dreamed of having. An up close, hard war. The first Cleverly fight was, but I couldn't maintain what I was doing for the first 7 rounds because I got tired because of the weight. But in cruiserweight, I'd say the closest I came to having my dream fight was Mateusz Masternak. But I switched off. I pissed the first 7 rounds, and I switched off from round 7 to 9, and then I win 10 to 12 comfortably. But yeah, Andre Wood would have been the ultimate test for me. He would have been even more of a test than Usyk, to be honest. But as I say, you go after the honeymoon. I was 17 stone, mate, and I had, from when I got back off the honeymoon, I had 12 weeks to go to get down. So I come back from the honeymoon in Mykonos, and I thought, well, we've got to take the kids and all these to make up for them missing the honeymoon. So we flew to Portugal, and while I was in Portugal with my kids in a villa, I had to fly Dave Calder out there with the other boxers to start training me for camp. that didn't go down well with me, miss.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so, I'm supposed to be on my holiday after my honeymoon with the kids and I start training camp for the Usyk fight, so. But she understood why I was doing it. I was trying to fulfill a childhood dream. Not even a childhood dream, because I've lived my dreams. I really have. I'm one of very few people in life who go hand on heart say, I've lived my dream. What I dreamed of doing with my life, I've done it. I've achieved everything I could have done. This was the thing I never thought would be possible by fighting Usyk. That's what I was strived for. That's what I went for, the impossible dream. And it come close to happening, but, like I say, mate, you get tired, and he's a young buck. He just keeps coming and coming. He's amazing at what he does, so fair play to him.
I know you're not one to make excuses, but do you take solace from the fact that, given how amazing he is, he won't have had, in my opinion, much harder fights. And the fact that you were ahead, and by rights ahead, by the way, and it almost looked as if he didn't have that many answers, but then he was so impressive the way he sort of just he stayed calm and kind of figured out what was happening, didn't he?
He catches up with me, and I think in his mind he thinks he can't keep this pace, it's impossible. But
pace as well.
Yeah, it was a great pace, but it's the fact of what I'm making him think and he's making me think. It's two brilliant boxing technicians, which he never really faces. He just faces guys who want to take his head off. And they're going to even want to take his head off even more in the heavyweight division. That's why he'll make a fool of so many of them. It's only the real big boys that'll beat him. Like, Fury's too big. I even think AJ might be, in the end, find him and get to him, but he'll be behind when he does. He'll make a fool of a lot of people. I mean, I was able to make him miss at certain times. I was able to make his feet fall short. Things that other fighters have never been able to do his whole career. So, yeah, it was. But then, as I say, I tired. And I don't know whether he was expecting that or whether he was shocked by it. I don't know. But there were certain things that I was able to adapt to him. Like I say, he's such a clever fighter. He's the best I've fought, mate. He's the only person I've ever fought who could do to me what I could do to him. What I could do to others, sorry, not to him.
Yeah.
I could fight. If I ever fought a fighter who was clearly a level below me, I could make it so easy. It was so, I was always like 3 moves ahead of them. Like, I'd step back as you step in, I'd look to counter you and I'd be out the other side, and you'd still be going this way and I'm over here. He's able to do that to someone like me who's a world-class fighter. That's why his compatriot, Vasily Lomachenko, is so good. He makes other fighters look so inferior, and the world class, they're brilliant fighters, but they look like novices, mate, because of what he can do. Alexander Usyk is exactly the same. He's just a bigger version. He's just a bigger version, but he's got a few more weaknesses. There's things that he doesn't like you doing that I studied. That I'm not going to divulge on a camera and stuff, but he does have weaknesses. A lot, many more weaknesses than his compatriot Vasily Lomachenko. That boy has very, very few, if any, weaknesses. That's how good he is.
We saw it again on Saturday, didn't we?
How clever he is, mate. I can't explain that. He's the only fighter in the world I've ever watched live and been in awe of. The only fighter ever, and I've seen some absolute greats, mate, up close. I've been able to witness Mike Tyson up close. I've been able to witness some brilliant fights. I didn't get to see who, in my opinion, was the greatest fighter of all time, a prime Roy Jones Jr. But he is the closest thing I've seen to him. He's the closest thing.
Do you think how accepting you are of the result and everything, and how you sort of, how it comes across anyway, how you mentally deal with the fight and the outcome of it? You seem like one of the first former boxers I've seen in a long time where when you say I'm retired, we all believe it, because you've scratched that itch.
I wish they would, mate. They don't. Every show I go to, please, another fight. When are you fighting again? I'm retired. Yeah. Someone made me an offer, and I won't disclose it, to have a fight in a cage. It wasn't the UFC, it was another big organisation, to see if I'd do it.
Vince McMahon be on the phone, is he?
Because they know you too well.
Yeah, so, and you know what, mate, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking about it, but I just don't want to, my body can't do it, I'm not going to lie. My body, I've broke my hands, I've fractured or broke my hands 6 times. My knees are smashed to bits, shot to bits. I'm in pain after I do a hard session for days now, not hours. I'm lifting weights again, so I'm a lot bigger, but it's just your body can't do it, and you can't lie to yourself. So I'm at peace with the decision that I've made, but like I said, I'll always miss fighting. Mate. And it's hard it's hard being around the shows and the fighters, because I know 100%, I'm very honest, I know I could come back tomorrow and win a world cruiserweight title, no problem at all. Could I be the best cruiserweight in the world right now? Possibly, but probably not. because getting back down to 14 stone 4 is a massive fight. And then also these lads are young lads, mate, and there's some killers in the cruiserweight division. There really is. There's a few of them, so it's just one of them. You just have to live with it, mate, and get on with it. Every dog has its day. I'm big enough and ugly enough to accept, mate, that I've had my time, and you've just got to leave it to the young ones. I don't want to overstay my welcome in boxing. I've witnessed so many fighters over the years overstay the welcome, and it doesn't end well. It really doesn't, mate. And I would break my heart to end up like that. You know, my kids having to feed me, or you know, I'm not able to do the things I want to do because I've been physically damaged. At this moment in time, when I've walked out, I've got all my faculties intact. I've done okay financially. I've reinvested it all and done well with it, and my kids are set for life. So, you know, everything's worked out okay. So I'm not stupid enough and foolish enough and selfish enough. That's the thing that I have been. That's the kind of thing that sits with me. That's not really right. I see my kids growing up, and my eldest lad's 14 now, and I feel like I've missed a lot of his childhood. And I've got a 14-year-old kid who's 6'2", and he's a size 11 shoe. He's a man.
Wow.
And and when I'm spending time with him now, it's like I'm getting to know him again. And it breaks me heart to say that, but I've done my whole career to give to these kids what I've always dreamed of, and it's worked out okay now. Yeah, it's gone okay, but look what I've missed. You know,
you can't get that time back.
I can't get it back, mate. I've got another lad 11. Me other little baby's 6. Thankfully, she's got another one on the way, another little boy. So, hopefully, I get to spend all the time raising this little boy. You know, like I say, I'm doing too much at the minute. I'm doing work for Sky. I've got obligations and a contract to fulfill with Sport Pesa. I do an awful lot, so I'm just trying to minimise now what I'm doing. Like I say.
What's happening with the PT? Because on Instagram you'd spoken about training and potentially, well, you weren't going to work with clients, but there was a PT.
Oh no, I'll never do it. It's like a fitness course that I'm doing, and you put it together. It's a package. It basically just to help the normal fella, and everyone does these things, and in all honesty, I don't earn a fortune from, but it's just nice to give a little bit back, and there's a cost to it. I think it's £10, £6, whatever it is, I don't know. But I've linked up with another organisation now to help get it out there and help more people. It's just, I don't know, it's a way to keep me motivated as well. Like I started training again, I snapped my ligaments in my foot.
Playing footy, wasn't it?
Playing football in Goodison Park, of all the places. Reason why I should just carried on fighting.
Was it after the end of last season?
Yeah. Mate, it's the worst pain I've ever had. 20 years I've been fighting for, and that is the worst pain.
Ankle ligaments are your worst pain?
Snapping the ligaments in my ankle.
Donna Stevenson made your brain crunch.
Yes, and that's the worst pain I've ever felt, mate. I went in the back, and one of the Everton physio's son was there, and I was sitting down on the physio bed, and Leon Osmond was the manager for it. He didn't want to play because his knees are dodgy as well. And as he goes to me, this is what happens to you. See, you're always giving us sticks, saying we're jumping on the floor, all the whinge. And I said, Ozzy, get out and fuck off. I couldn't stop farting, and I nearly shit myself lying on this bed because I couldn't control my back passage, mate. I thought I broke my leg. I went down, and it wasn't even, no one had kicked me or nothing. It's just the way I went down on the ball.
A complete tear, yeah.
Took on one player, took on another, and then as I went to line up the shop, I touched it on my feet, and on the new Predator boots, the ball sticks to the boot, and oh mate, you don't look down when you knock a ball out your feet, do you?
Yeah.
So you automatically just go to run. As I went to run, my foot was on the ball, and it just, my leg went that way with the ball, and my body went that way, and I just did crack, snap. And then I tried to get up off the floor, and thought, I can't actually get up. Then I managed to get up and hobbled and hopped, and I was just going, just put your arms on. I said, I'm not getting hobbled off this pitch. I said, I'll get off myself. And when I sat down in the dugout, the pain, it just increased by the hour, mate. I have never felt pain like it. My foot was like that.
I remember the picture. Yeah.
Oh my God, mate, it was horrendous. And it's still quite big now, but you've just got to crack on with it, mate. It is what it is.
You mentioned before, like the normal guy, like helping to train the normal guy.
Yeah.
To the normal guy who like goes to the gym maybe a few times a week. How different and how intense is it when you're in camp? And does it change depending on like if you've lost? Should you go back to the drawing board and change a few things?
That's what I'm struggling with now. Is trying to train like a normal person. Like I go to a normal gym now. I've joined a membership at a normal gym. I'm not going to disclose where it is because of stuff. But the people are quite shocked to see me in there. So, you know, I swim a mile twice a week. I try and play golf twice a week, which I never get to do. That's a lie, but I try my best to get and do it. Just been on a driving range for 45 minutes before. And I lift weights 3 times a week. So I still train 5 days a week.
Yeah.
and get as much done as I can, but I'm struggling with the intensity side of things. So that's why when I snapped the ligaments, I gained 20 pound. Then I lost 20 pound. Now I've gained 10 pound. So it's just I'm up and down yo-yoing with the weight at the minute. It's all about diet if you want to lose weight, and then secondly, it's all about training. You can't outrun a bad diet.
Yeah,
It's a true story, mate. When it comes to the training side, it's about changing up your structure of how you train and when you're training, the things that you do, and then ultimately you've got to be comfortable with what you're doing. There's no point in me saying, right, get on a treadmill and do 30 on, 30 off 25 times or 36 times like I used to when I was fighting. I used to get on a treadmill and run, when I think, what was it, anywhere between 6 to 8 to 10 rounds, 30 on, 30 off at 21k speed all the way up to 24.
Wow.
And mate, your lungs will be screaming, do not get back on this treadmill, you're going to have a heart attack many a time. I've spewed up many a time. I think it's been seen through my Instagram over the years and stuff like that. And Bellew used to say to me, you push so hard, I don't need to. You're not an athlete who I need to drive and motivate. He said, you're insane the way you want to train, but that's why I always got where I got, is because I had the mentality of I might not be as physically blessed or gifted as you, or I might not be aesthetically good looking as you, but let me tell you, mate, when we get on that treadmill, I ain't giving up. When we get in that boxing ring, you might be quicker than me, you might be faster than me, you might be stronger than me, but you will stop before I stop. You will not. And that was my greatest strength, was my mental strength and the fact that I would never give up. It's a dangerous thing as well, though.
So you had that ability to take your mind and therefore take your body into like dark places where...
horrible places. And sad. It's, when I look back, it's kind of even embarrassing, the fact that I would die before I quit. That's how, and I say that, and it's embarrassing. I've got 3 kids at home waiting for me to come on, going to missus. But listen, mate, when that bell goes, and I don't say it lightly, but you're gonna have to kill me. You keep me nailed for 2 occasions in my career, the referee saved my life, 100%. Adonis Stevenson one, I'm out on my feet. If he gets that free punch next, that's the punch that really damages people. It's when you're gone and you can't brace, that's when you've got to stop the fight.
We've seen what happened to him himself in subsequent fights.
In Gavodzic's fight, And so then the second one is the Usyk fight. I go down heavy, but if you watch the fight back, I'm up at 6. And I'm up on groggy legs, but usually at 90% of the time, because I'm the home fighter and because the crowd's in there for me, the referee would usually let that go. They go, listen, I'm going to have to, he can get knocked out here and then it's definitely over. But I get up at 6 and he lets me he counts 2-8 and then he looks at me and just goes, no, I can't. And he saved my life, because if he lets me fight on, he could have hurt me really bad. So I'm honest enough to say that and be straight up about it, but I need saving, mate, when I get in the boxing ring, because, like, in all honesty, the last thing I remember about the Usyk fight is I go back to the corner, it's the end of round 7. Dave Calder said to me, are you tired? I said, I'm absolutely fucked. In an ideal world, your coach should go, that's enough, I'm stopping it. But he knows the way I am. He stops at me, we've got to fight in the dressing room, so you're going to have to fucking fight me. No one stops me. I get in a boxing ring and you go out one way or the other. You either get carried out or a walk out. There ain't no, I'm walking out with a towel over my head, and that doesn't happen it can't happen. And I don't say that, like I say, lightly, because I always harbour on about fighters and the health and stuff like that, but this is me personally. I can't be seen as quitting. It can't happen. In my own mental, I couldn't live it myself. I couldn't look in the mirror if I'd quit, and I couldn't look in the mirror if he pulled me out. I'd have thrown him out the corner. My coach would have been done. So he knew, and he's always known that about me. So going out for the last thing I remember about the Usyk fight is me saying to him, I'm absolutely fucked. I walked out. The next thing I remember is being in my dressing room. I don't remember anything else. I don't remember an interview. I don't remember talking. I've got 3 blank spots like this in my whole career. One of them's the Usyk fight. It's end of round 7 to the dressing room. I don't remember a single thing. It's gone. I can't get it back. The Adonis Stevenson fight, I don't remember anything of the fight. I must have been and literally I don't remember anything I don't remember even how the weigh-in kicked off. I don't know what I said or done, but I can't remember much of anything from the weigh-in. All the other fights I can remember perfect. Round by round I can remember. And the third one was Chilemba 1. I don't remember anything. anything at all from the whole fight.
So is it surreal watching those back and then watching the post-fight interview after Usyk?
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen the interview. I don't even remember. I don't remember doing it. I haven't looked at it back.
Have you not looked at it back?
Nope.
There's not like a party that was just curious?
I watched the fight back. I watched all the fights and I've seen the fight and I can literally see myself falling apart from round 6. I can see myself so drained from round 6 onwards. Now,
so like your motor skills starting to go.
That's never happened to me in my whole career. But like I say, when you want to drag your body down from 17 stone to 14 stone 4, when you want to enjoy your wedding, which I should do. I was retired.
Of course, yeah.
I enjoyed my wedding. I had a great wedding. I had an even better honeymoon, and I had a boss little holiday as well. But it is what it is. When you at that age, you can't do what you're doing to yourself. But then, on the other side of it, I was in amazing shape when I got in the ring with him. I trained so hard for them 12 weeks. I was in fantastic shape. I had abs at cruiserweight, which I've never had before.
Some of the best shape of your career, actually.
Yeah, I was in unbelievable shape. I broke all my records in my training. On the treadmill, the treadmill could go as fast as it wanted. It couldn't keep up with me. I was going that quick, and I'm not a good runner. Everything went perfect. Don't get me wrong, I did crack my rib 3 weeks before the fight, so that was a bit of a sickener. The sparring partner got him was really crafty and really clever and good. Haye, his name was. He cracked my rib, so I couldn't spar for 3 weeks to go. But that didn't play a factor in the fact because he actually couldn't catch me to the body. He hit me once to the body, but he didn't catch me on the spot. If he would have hit me to the body, he probably would have folded me. And I've never been down with a body shot in my life. Even when the kid cracked me rib in sparring, I didn't go down. I just thought, that doesn't feel right, that. And for weeks and weeks and weeks, I just had to stop sparring. So, yeah, I was in great shape. I can't understand why I got tired, but you've got to look at it, take aside everything. It's him. He's that good. He's put the pressure on me. He's been able to do different things to manipulate my moves of where I'm going, when I'm going, and that's why I've tired. So, but like I say, mate, I'm at peace with it. I'm happy. I can't complain.
And you're very lucky. I read a quote from you. I think it was shortly after you retired, and you said like, there's some mad stat about there's hardly any boxers that retire financially independent. You're one of the
less than 1%.
Less than 1%. Is
less
that
than
much?
1%?
Jeez.
In the professional sport of boxing, less than 1% retire.
That's unreal, isn't it?
Financially secure.
From
the money from boxing.
Yeah.
I think it's 0.7.
Did you listen to that documentary on TalkSport the other week, Losing the O?
Yeah.
And
I haven't listened to it, but I understand.
Yeah, well, it was brilliant. So there was a lad who they talked about. In fact, he was on it. Something Agogo, was it?
Anthony Agogo.
Yeah, and he in his old career, he had to retire, didn't he? Because he fractured his eye socket.
Yeah.
And he spent over 100k fixing it.
Yeah.
But in his whole career, he only made like 70.
Yeah.
And that's him done.
And he's an Olympic bronze medalist. Bronze medalist, I think he was.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Just shows what you guys are putting on the line.
I can't explain to you. Everyone thinks because you're on telly, you're a millionaire. It's the biggest con in the world that you'll ever see. The sport of boxing, fundamentally, is just until you reach the top, there ain't no money there. So to break down, I fought for me. Fighting for my life and my career on the line, Oval Mackenzie, £15,000.
Wow.
Manager wants his cut out of that, 25%. Your trainer wants 10% out of that, and the tax man doesn't care about no one, let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's taking his cut too. So before you've even walked that ring, you've lost 35%. Then you've got the tax man at 20% to pay as well on top of that. And then before all that's gone, you've got all your sparring partners to pay. You've got everything else, gym your
cost,
medical nutritional costs. 15, and that's the British title fight. I'm topping the bill, the Echo Arena. How can that be possibly deemed fair? I've sold Echo Arena over Mackenzie fight. Fair few hundred tickets, probably 500-600 tickets on the gate alone. Well, and what I know now to what I knew then on the gate, £500,000 on the gate. Coming to see me,
God.
And I'm getting 15 grand.
That can't be right, can it? It can't be right.
That's boxing at that
What
level.
On the line, it's outrageous, isn't it?
This is what I'm saying about British title fights. It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable, but it goes on.
Do you think that's why? Do you know, like, in the 90s, right? There's this. I know we always put the past on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So people always put like the heavyweight division in particular in the 90s on a pedestal, and rightly so. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Whereas now the fights they're saying they're more difficult to make because you got to sign these exclusive deals with different broadcasters. Do you think that's why? It's because of the money?
No, it's purely comes down to the biggest part of it all, of being totally honest, is egos. Ego's the biggest part. Everyone wants their fair court or wants to be the A-side or whatever. So when we're talking about the heavyweights, so it's obviously Joshua Wilder, things like that. Well, the simple fact of it is when you've got one man who's bringing 3 belts to the table and one man who's bringing 1, it's not rocket science who's the A-side here.
Yeah.
When you've got one man who's bringing X amount of money to the table and his highest pace is X and your highest pace is Y, it's not rocket science. We know who's earning more. We know who brings more to the table. When you've got Anthony Joshua, who's the face of Lynx, who's the face of Hugo Boss, he's the face of Under Armour, he's the face, he's just the face of boxing. And then you've got this fella who no one knows in his hometown. He might be a world champion, but no one knows him, and no one cares about him. So how is this fella demanding a 50-50 split? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're offering this fella double than what he's ever earned in his whole career. Double. And if he wins, he probably gets treble that. But he doesn't believe he's going to win. That's the biggest thing with the boxing world. So a lot of fights don't, they all sign with different broadcasters now because boxing's hot. That's the only reason all these broadcasters are involved at the minute. Slowly but surely, them broadcasters will disperse. They will go away. And they will get fed up of boxing again. And then your hardcore ones will stay. I mean, the only great shock that a broadcast that's left to me is HBO. I'm amazed they've left boxing. HBO was the home of boxing for many years, mate. Roy Jones Jr., Mike Tyson, all these names were going through HBO. Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, legendary names, and now it's just not involved with boxing anymore.
Left a big hole, and obviously DAZN have gone in, haven't they? But it's still a big DAZN,
They're
still a big gap.
They're sick of it, mate. So it's very hard to figure out these new deals and why the fights don't get made. They will get made eventually, because listen, if Mayweather Pacquiao can eventually be made in the end, this will be made. It might take a loss. I mean, if AJ loses the next rematch to Andy Ruiz, then it's possibly all over for his career. But he's not bothered because he's going to make tens upon tens of millions for this next fight. Dozens upon dozens of millions.
Wow.
That's what he's going to make. And when I say dozens upon dozens, I mean north of 50 million.
Just for the rematch?
That's why it's going to Saudi Arabia, mate. In my opinion, I think he'll make that. North of 50. And so, I'm good on him. He deserves it. And the reason, and people are saying, why is this fight going to Saudi Arabia? Well, why do the fights go to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Money.
Why do the fights go to anywhere? Because of money. So, why did Floyd Mayweather have that fight with a pizza delivery guy in Japan? Why did you? Because of money.
Yeah, the exhibition one.
Kickboxing.
So why did he do money? And it all comes down to money. So, it is what it is.
Those type of ones are quite damaging. I remember the first time, and I was just sort of, it was as if like boxing was turning into like WWE with the build-up was the McGregor and Mayweather thing. It
was. That's exactly what it was. It's a crossover between the UFC and the boxing world, and that's what you get. McGregor versus Mayweather. That's what happens when you combine two different sports and two different worlds of how it is. And you have to understand that the UFC is probably the fastest growing sports brand in the whole world. It's the fastest growing sport in the world. It's huge. It's global. It's a blue chip company now. 4.5 billion the Faritas sold it for, and it's unheard of for the sport and a combat agency to be sold for that kind of money. So what they've been able to do with that, and Dana White's done with it, is remarkable. He deserves a massive pat on the back. He's created monster after monster. From the likes of Conor McGregor to George St. Pierre to Jose Aldo, Brock Lesnar, Randy Couture. The list just goes on and on of people. Tito Ortiz. He's created legend after legend after, and it doesn't die. It just carries on. The system, no matter who he loses or no matter what they got. Like, in my opinion, John Jones is probably the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. But even when he gets banned or thrown, it's like it doesn't matter. The show goes on, and they just create another monster.
And it is a show, innit? It's it is a case of the show.
It's a show, mate. The show goes on, and that's not such the case in the boxing world. So the boxing has so much it can learn from the UFC and from the way it's made, from the way it's produced, from the way it's not all about one fighter. Boxing's kind of moving on now from the Floyd Mayweather days. So Floyd Mayweather's gone. Canelo is probably the biggest name in North America. But then even when he's got his band, the sport moves on. So then after him, it's Joshua, and Joshua is such a global face. Joshua's now lost, so they look to lesser fights like your Lomachenkos, your Usyks, and these boys are ready to take the pedestal themselves. So it needs to learn more from the UFC in the way it's built on and the way it's made on. But ultimately, the sports move on, mate, and fights will get made eventually, but they're just going to take a little bit more. I wouldn't say necessarily negotiating, just more of the fights more of the outcomes to happen. So like things like, Joshua is going to need to get beat to face Wilder. Wilder is probably going to need to get beat to face Joshua. Fury's going to need to lose before he faces either of them again. Like it's a con to think that Wilder and Fury's going to happen again. As Wilder's come out and said, they've announced they're going to fight each other again early next year. But then Wilder's just said live on Sky Sports the other day that he said, well, I'm going to fight Luis Ortiz first in this rematch. Then I'm going to wait and see what happens between Joshua and Ruiz, and then I'll pick up. If Joshua kind of beats Ruiz, then I will fight Fury. But if Ruiz beats Joshua, I'm fighting Ruiz. He's just basically said that. And he can, because one man's in control of the division, and that man is Al Heyman. Al Heyman has Ruiz and he has Wilder.
Okay.
So
he's the power broker. What of those combinations do you want to see the most as a fan?
What's the most exciting? Probably Wilder and AJ. Because it's just a gunfight, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's just a gunfight. It's just let's see who can land first. Everyone's vulnerable in the heavyweight division. I think the best boxer is Tyson Fury. That's unquestionable. But then I also think if you weighed them up the way I weigh fights up with attributes, then by a country mile, AJ's the best heavyweight in the world. With attributes, he's the it's hard to say. He's probably the quickest. He's probably the most powerful. He's probably, if you stuck these in like a strong man, he runs the fastest, he lifts the heaviest, he punches the hardest, and then you come to the likes of Wilder, who, because he's fundamentally does absolutely nothing right, but he with one punch he's just a freak.
Yeah, he's just so awkward.
Mate, he's the worst. Yeah. He's technically the worst heavyweight champion I've ever seen in my life, but he's probably got the most dangerous punch of any heavyweight I've ever seen. He's that.
It's insane how late he started, doesn't it?
It's unorthodox what he does. But what he does, he's a basketball, doesn't he? He comes with basketballer kind of qualities. He's so explosive, he's so long, he's so lean. He would make the perfect basketballer, but he obviously couldn't make it in that sport, and he thought, just try me on the boxing. Or he's probably tried in the NFL and thought, forget it, last minute job, go in the Olympics, do what I can, get a bronze medal, and he's a boxer. And that's how far down the pecking order boxing has come now in American society. You've got to remember, for decades upon decades, the boxers have been, the heavyweight champion of the world has been a boxer from America. From your Muhammad Ali's to your Mike Tyson's to your Larry Owens to your Michael Spinks. These fighters have gone through, but progressively as it's gone up, people have realised that boxing's so dangerous and what it does to you. So it's now come right back down the slide, and there's so many sports now ahead of, like the NFL, like the NBA. Soccer's probably ahead of boxing in America for the fame wise. There's the hockey, there's baseball. All these sports are way above boxing. Boxing's down here. So kids are all wanting to do these sports up here, and the last resort is boxing. So boxing gets the scraps of the likes of your Deontay Wilders. Mate, he's horrendous. He's absolutely horrendous. He's a one-trick pony. Don't get me wrong, it's a hell of a trick, because the trick hits you, make you wake up in an ambulance. But when you consider what he's doing and how he's doing fights, Tyson Fury made him look absolutely ridiculous. Any decent, technically good heavyweight can make him look ridiculous. If Luis Ortiz wasn't 105, he'd make him look ridiculous. But he is what it is, mate. So it's just one of them things. It's a hard sport to navigate your way through and work out, but as time goes on, it will all work itself out in the end. It just needs time and a mind. I just hope to see AJ get the job done in this rematch, because British boxing needs him, mate. British boxing is not the same without Anthony Joshua at the helm. It's really not. There's not as much media presence. There's not as much people wanting to pay attention to the sport without him. I'm sorry to say. And I'm very fortunate, because I've experienced before he come and when he come. I was here as a British champion, as a European champion before this time. And then when he come, I've realised how the market's gone up, from me sponsorship money to me purses to the TV money There's so many things.
He's done something for the whole
everyone
sport.
up with
He's
him,
lifted
doesn't he?
everything with him. Yeah.
And people need to be very thankful to him for that, because not a lot of people say, "Oh, Tony Bellew kissed AJ's ass." Not about kissing his ass, mate. I'm very lucky and fortunate that I was when he exploded, because that's when the game exploded. There's a reason why there's a lot more fights in this country now who are becoming financially secure. And he's not the only reason, but he is the biggest part of it, because of what he brought to the table for all of us at once. So,
do you think?
Fantastic.
What do you think happened then? If you could put your finger on one thing, what happened in that rematch? Do you think because he was a replacement, he just kind of wasn't 100%? He was 98%, and he took his eye off the ball a little bit. Took it for granted.
I don't want to disservice Andy Ruiz in anything, because I've done that enough in the commentary, to be honest. I just said this fella's got absolutely no chance. I think he's a spectator.
Well, that's because we say what we see, don't we?
Yeah, well, you look at him. One fella looks like the Hulk, and the other fella looks like Mr. Soft. You know, I've just never seen nothing like it, mate. He looked like Johnny Vegas going into a fight, and I was just like, this fella's got
Butterbean territory, wasn't it?
And I thought, he just looks horrendous. And then I thought, right, I'll do the honour of just studying him a little bit. So I watched him in his most impressive fight before that fight was Joseph Parker. And I watched him back, I thought, he's got good hands, you know, he's reasonable. He doesn't look as strong as I thought he was. I said, but that's his best display. That's his world title fight. That's the fight he will have been up for the most, you know. That's the fight I'm expecting to see the best of him. He's 18 stone 3 in that fight, and he gives it everything. He loses a narrowly decision. Excuse me, on points, but you know, I thought that's the best of him. So I watched that fight and I thought, he can't beat Josh. He's just got no chance. He turns up at the weigh-in. I'm at the weigh-in. I'm working. He's 19 stone 3, and I thought, this fella has put on an extra stone of fat from the Joseph Parker fight. He's saying, I'm happy to be here. He wants selfies with AJ, pictures with his belt. He just kidded the bollocks off me and to give him fair play. And I just thought, he's getting knocked out in a few rounds. Now, the fight starts. AJ starts weirdly, technically good jab, keeping him at distance. And then the only mistake that he really makes is he gets into the third round, he cops him with that left hook, bump, he goes down for the first time in his career. What he doesn't do is, what AJ loses here, in my opinion, is he doesn't have the fear factor going in for the kill. So he's dropped Ruiz. When he goes in, he has zero regard for what's coming back at him. He just doesn't even anticipate he just goes straight in, head hunting, swinging for the light. And when you get into a fight, mate, with someone who weighs 19 stone 3 and he hits you on the top of the head, I've been at mates off people who are lighter than him, and your brain just frazzles inside your head and you get it. And the minute he gets hit with that big shot and he goes down, look at the difference between when Ruiz goes down, now he gets up, how strong his legs are, and now AJ, when he gets up, how strong his legs are gone. And I'm 100% confident that he's severely concussed from the first knockdown, and he's done. He's done. The only thing that's carried him, that's kept him going in that fight, is his balls and heart, in my opinion. So he didn't recover from the first knockdown, and as I say, that's purely because going into this fight, I think he respected Ruiz. I thought he's a good fighter. His coach definitely did. Robert McCracken said this is a hard fight. They could have fought. There was so many different replacements who they could have fought. Oh, what's the names of them? They had the Turkish fella. I can't think, but his name will come to me. I had the Turkish heavyweight on standby. Robert McCracken wanted the other one, and AJ wanted the best one. And Robert McCracken was like, just take an easy fight. You don't need... Why would you leave Manuel Char? They could have fought him, and there was another 2 other fights who they could have thought. And he went, no, I want to fight him. And Robert McCracken was like, this is a dangerous fight. He's just fought a few weeks ago. He's in shape. He's coming. And he didn't do it. And that's the mistake that he made. He went into the fight and thought, AJ's obviously studied him against Joseph Parker and thought, this fella's not going to be able to hit me. He couldn't hit Joseph Parker. How is he going to hit me? And as he knocks him down, he goes in for the kill, he leaves himself wide open. And when someone, like I say, 19 stone 3 hits you on top of the head and you don't see it coming, it's basically impossible to recover, mate. One thing I'll say about Ruiz is that I felt bad after because I overlooked his style and didn't think he had the power to do AJ. And it just shows me he's very fast hands for a big fat fella, and he's dangerous while he's standing. I do think AJ will win the rematch. Excuse me. I do think AJ will win the rematch, but I don't think it'll be easy. You know, because this fella's greatest attribute and strength is he's a good counter. He'll punch when you punch, so you know you're getting hit in this fight. There's no way out of it.
Yeah,
it's just how are you going to adjust and how are you going to keep him at bay when he's thrown? So, you know, if I was AJ, go in this fight, make it boring. You don't really care. I mean, the ideal scenario and situation for him is go in and knock this guy out in 1 round, and it looks like it's a fluke. There's no need for a 3rd fight. If he goes into this fight and he makes it boring and he makes it long and uneventful and scrapes out to a decision, or has to get off the floor to win a decision, then he could end up having to have a 3rd fight with him, and that he doesn't want that, mate. He just wants to get this job done as fast as possible and get rid of him, get him out of you, get him away from your career. He's kind of like, it's like what happened with Lennox in Africa with Hasim Rahman. You know, you just don't need it, mate. It's a big blip that you don't need, and I'm not comparing them in any way because they're 2 totally separate fighters. One's an iconic legend, mate, who's done his thing in the game, but this lad's trying to make his name in the game and become an iconic legend status. He's already at a great level in status alone with what he's done. Olympic gold medalist in such a short space of fights, world champion in his 16th fight, unified champion in 20 odd fights. It's amazing what he's done. It really, really is. But they're 2 different fighters, so you don't want to compare them, but it is that he does have similarities in with the way his career's going and setbacks, but I do believe he can come back.
Do you know, earlier we were talking about retirement, and obviously you were saying how much you miss fighting. Did you do much planning around the mental side of it? Because you speak, you know, your friends obviously with a lot of Everton players and people, Sylvan, you know, who've retired and gone on, and people these days it's less frowned upon. People are more honest about the mental health, and it can take a toll, can't it? Because you're a young man, but the only career you've known really is finished.
Fighting, yeah.
And you've got less time on your hands, and what you do.
Do you know what? It's a fair point. I'm not perfect. I have good days and bad days. I have a normal life like everyone else. Some days are shit, mate. Some days I'm just fed up and I don't want to do anything. Some days all I want to do is go and have a fight. I don't know. You'd have to learn to deal with it. To be fair, from the business side of things, I always had an exit strategy from boxing. So I always knew houses and properties and building stuff and doing whatever. I always had the exit for that side. But how do I then take away such the exciting part of my life of fighting and all that kind of thing? How am I going to deal with coming away from that? Just day to day. I don't know. There's no. I couldn't sit here and give you this great answer of what I want to do is I get up there, have this technique, I sit there and do yoga for half an hour, or I have mindful thoughts and I start talking to myself. I don't. I try and cope as best.
Just live life.
A lot of people miss like the rush, don't they? I guess. And you mentioned before the fact that you love to fight. So what else is there to replace that? There isn't. You know.
I'm enjoying being a dad day to day. I'm enjoying, doing school runs with my kids. I don't miss assemblies and stuff like that anymore. I get to take my kids. So tonight I was able to do this because Tuesdays is not the night that my kids have activities after school, but tomorrow and Thursday they do. So Fridays and Tuesdays they don't. I just try and fill my days with as much positive stuff as I can. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect, mate. Bad days. I'm not positive on myself all the time. I've always been my whole career. I've always been my worst critic. And it's the same in my lifestyle, the way I am. When I do something wrong, or whether I harbour on it, I think I fucked up and I've got to do something right, or when I see an opportunity, I don't take it, I kick myself for weeks on end, and I'm thinking, why the fuck didn't I take that opportunity, or why didn't I do this? I'm just a normal fella, mate. So you're just trying to keep up in the rat race. What do I do to keep myself happy? Watch Everton as much as I can.
To keep yourself happy?
Yeah. I don't know what to keep me happy for.
You're not really in control of that one, mate, unfortunately.
No. So, I don't know. I don't speak to your mates on a day-to-day basis. Like I say, boxing was such a big part of my life, but it's gone. And I've just got to accept it, mate, because as I say, there's no point in harbouring on thinking about coming back fighting all the time, I think. And it's even tough when you watch it because you're thinking, I know how good I am. Like I had a brilliant boxing brain. I know how good my boxing brain was. It's just the way I'm wired up. I give me life so much to it that I know what I can and can't. Like as a fighter, I was always very honest. And that's what 90% of fighters, the best liars in the world, they lie to themselves. I was always very honest with myself, so I knew what I could do and what I couldn't do. This is another reason why I progressed so far in my career. I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. I'll focus and work on the things that I'm good at. When I studied fighters to fight them and beat them, I would pick out the faults, and I would pick out what they are good at and what they're not good at, and I would always make them do. Like fighting David Haye, I knew he could never go to his right. He couldn't go to his right. He just struggled to go to his right. He likes to glide round to the left all the time. I would force him to go right every time I stepped. You know, I knew if he stepped with 2 steps direct to the left, he was looking for a right hand and coming back with a huge left hook. I knew every time he dipped his head to the right, he was looking to swing his huge right hand over the top. There's so many different things I knew, and I studied him, and I broke him down bit by bit, bit by bit. And when I look back at the second fight, every rematch I ever had in my professional career, I always won, and I won far better than the first fight, because I would study the things that these fights would do, and in my mind I would remember so many things that they would do. So I think the first rematch I ever had in my career was the Oval Mackenzie one. The first fight, I have to get off the floor twice. He drops me flat on my face. The rematch, I just completely made a fool of him. It's like he didn't even belong in the same ring as me. I outboxed him, I won every single round of 12 rounds. He didn't lay a glove on me. The Cleverly rematch, I put all the wrongs right. Before him, there was the Chalamba rematch, first fight in the Echo Arena. I'd say I don't remember anything from it. I've seen it on video a lot of times, but basically, I gassed after 6 rounds. I was dead at the weight. My mother-in-law was in a coma for about 6 weeks, Rachel's mum, and then she woke up 2 days before the Chalamba fight. Oh. So my mind just weren't there. But then I had to boil down the weight, because I was thinking, am I going to fight? Am I not going to fight? And I was boiling myself down to the weight that much that when I turned up at the scales and when I turned up for the fight, I don't remember anything. My mind was blank from the day of the weigh-in. After the fight, I don't remember a single thing, anything. But the rematch, I was about 10 weeks after the first fight. Everything went perfect. My weight never jumped up. I'd done everything right. I beat him up for 12 rounds once again, made it an easy fight and won. Then the Cleverly rematch, and then the Haye fights. The first Haye fight, everyone would go on, you only beat him because of the injury and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, we'll see, I'll show you. And I said to everyone, because the whole world wrote me off going into that first fight. Yeah. I mean, literally, mate, I was turning up just to get drilled to the floor. Yeah. And I still remember to this day being in that press conference and all the media being in front of me, and David saying, listen, you've got no say. I will end this fight whenever I want to. You are not on my level. I'm going to drill you to the floor and it's going to hurt. I said, that's all good, David. I said, but don't worry. What's going to happen is you're going to miss. I said, and I'm going to beat you. I'm going to knock you out. I said, but don't worry. I'm going to give you a rematch. And they all started laughing. All the media started laughing. Eddie M, my promoter, sat next to me laughing his head off at me. And I said, I'm going to give you a rematch. I knew. I took a very small percentage in the first David Haye fight. I should have stuck out for a lot more, but I didn't. Now, this is what I'm saying. When you're saying why aren't fights getting made, I hung on and got my percentage, and it was a sure percentage in the first fight. I was the world champion. I was bringing Sky Sports box office to the table because he was fighting on Channel Dave. Yeah. And only
he was one. Yeah.
No one watches Dave unless you're looking for Bullseye.
Yeah.
So I was sitting on Sky Sports box office. I was a current world champion. I was this, and this. I ticked all these boxes. Everyone knew he'd been fighting no one's on Dave. So when we went to the negotiating part, Eddie said, listen, I think you can get more if you hold on. And David goes, last 25, he said, take this offer or don't have it at all. He took the offer and I said to Eddie, has he put a rematch clause in? And Eddie said, no. I said, right, just sign the offer straight away. He said, what do you mean? And he said, Tone, yeah, I reckon if you hang on, you can get better than this. And I went, just sign it. Trust me. The tables will turn the rematch. Because he's got no rematch clause, he has to bend to my rules then for the rematch. And I beat him. And fair play to Eddie. Eddie didn't think I was going to win that fight. He was pretty honest. He said, I think he's too big. He said, but I'm doing it because you're going to make a lot of money. Yeah. And, it's going to be great for you. I said, you'll soon see. And after the fight, I can't believe you've seen what you've seen. Don't get me wrong, it was really close for the first 5 rounds. And then, I thought he was winning 3-2 after 5 rounds, but David's a fighter who never gets stronger as fights go on. He only gets more tired and weaker. I was a fighter who at that weight just gets stronger and stronger as the fight goes on. So after 5 rounds, at the end of the 5th round, he goes back and I said to him, you are blowing out your ass is mine. And then comes out for the 6th round and he fucking snaps his Achilles. Only happens to me.
That fight though, I remember.
It's a blessing that he did, because that
yeah, exactly.
It might have stolen me glory. It might have stolen me moment, but it gives me the rematch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. And see that fight, I was going to ask you about that, the build up to that, right? You must get asked this all the time. how much like that was like pure hatred coming out of you. And was that real?
Oh, 100%. Everyone always asks me, are they real, the rivalries? 100%. Like, but I did never hate David. I always wanted to just antagonise him and annoy him so much that he genuinely wanted to kill me. He said it in the press. He said, I'm going to leave this man in the coma. His kids are going to visit him in hospital. He wanted to kill me.
Yeah. And he's a pretty unflappable guy normally, isn't he?
Yeah, no one can get to him. But
so did you just think, I can easy wind up? Because you started in the ring at your previous fight, didn't you? Calling him SpongeBob and that?
And then that's not what got to him. I labelled him the Bermondsey bitch.
Yeah.
And labelled him everything. No, he didn't like that. Now, what got to him the most, I'll tell you, I remember the exact point of when it got to him. When we done the first presser, we're standing at the first presser, and he genuinely thought that I was fighting him for the money, and he genuinely thought that I believed that I was going to lose. He thought I was going to fight and I'm going to lose this fight. I thought I was going to win every fight I ever went into. He didn't care who was fighting. I knew I was going to beat him. I knew styles make fights. When we come face to face the first time, we're standing there, and I said something to him, and he knew. I think he said, man, flat, I'm going to knock you. I said, you're going to lose. And he knew by looking in my eyes, I was being 100% honest. And it absolutely fucked him mentally. Because by me looking at him and telling him I'm going to beat him, and he knows I'm not lying, because the eyes never lie. When two fights come close and you're saying stuff to each other, you know. Because you'll get some fights and you go, yeah, well, I think I'm going to beat him, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But you just know in your heart of hearts, I don't believe you, mate. When I said it to him, he knew I believed it. And that was more of an insult to him than any of the names I called him. Because he was like, how do you fat scout prick, think you can beat me? I am David A. Look at me, look at you. Look what I've done, look what you've done. And that's what really got to him. It infuriated him. And I sent him insane.
Is that when he punched you then?
That's when he threw the punch at me in the very first. But it broke him, and he was.
I think that's the evidence of it, wasn't it? Because he wasn't that sort of.
He's never struck anyone in a press conference before. Don't get me wrong. He's had a fight with Derek Chisora, but it wasn't his press conference. But I broke him mentally. I got inside his head, and he could not believe me was challenging this fella, and genuinely thought he could win. And that's the biggest insult to him of the all. For the rematch, he had to get a completely different mindset. I'm sure he's seen a psychiatrist. He hasn't told me yet, but even now we're not friends. We're pally. And I owe David A gratitude, because if David A didn't fight me, make no mistake, I'd still be fighting now. Without David A coming into my career, we did. After I win the world title at Goodison Park, I defended against BJ Flores. I've bought my first house. I've bought my main house now, where I live. I'm not in that house no more. I've sold it, but I got my house. Financially, after I bought the house and paid it all off, I haven't got much. Not much at all. I defend against BJ Flores, and it's still not much. Like I'm a world champion. I've maybe faced ends. I ain't a millionaire. I'm far from it. I've got my taxes to pay. I've got an awful lot of money coming in. I fight David A in that first fight. I've made more than my whole career 3 times over.
Wow.
And that was the short end of it.
You know what? Make that 5 times over in one night. And that's what I'm saying about. That's why you've done it. So as soon as I won the world title, I wished and dreamed my last ever fight was at Goodison Park. Like everyone says to me, watch your great fights, David A's got to be it. And I go, no. I said, the minute I won that world title, I wish I could have just retired and walked away into the sunset. If that world title would have been for the money that I fought David A for twice, I'd have retired at Goodison Park. End of, I've done it. You know what? That's not fair. I would have defended it and then left the game alone. But the minute I won that world title, I had an agenda, and it was purely about money. I've achieved my dreams. I've won British, Commonwealth, European, World Championships. I've boxed my country. I've been around the world. I've surpassed what I thought was possible. What is left? Financial security for my family. So, mate, he was the target. David Price will be able to tell you, if you ever speak to him, many years ago I told him I'm going to fight David A. I knew I sparred him, and I just won my first ABA title in 2004. He paid me £100. I couldn't believe a man was paying me £100 to punch him in the face. I know it's cheap change now compared to what I've paid some people over the years. Come to the Salisbury ABC gym round the corner from here, and he paid me and David Price £100 to knock 10 bells out, and we battered them. The two of us absolutely leathered them all over the gym with the solly. and he was supposed to be fighting Mark Hobson for the British cruiserweight title. He pulled out the next day and said he had a groin injury. He didn't. He just got smashed the life out of me and David Price. And I said to David Price from that day, I said, I'm going to fight him. I actually put him on one knee that day. I hit him with the right hand, and he said, "Oh, my leg," and he took a knee, and I said, "I've just dropped him," because I think he was given £1,000 if you could drop him. And I said, I've just dropped him. Do I get it? And he was like, "No, he took a knee because of his arms." And I was like, "Fuck off! You just dabbed me off for the dickhead."
It's another excuse from David.
But you know what, mate? I look back and it's mad how my careers and my life's worked out. Life's worked out okay. I've had some, like say, tough moments, bad moments, dark places. I don't ever profess to be a perfect person because I'm not. You know, I've done some bad things in my life. I haven't always been a boxer. I've done some things that I'm not proud of from a young kid. And I've had some bad times and good times. I'd say the worst time in my life that I've been through was losing my brother. Was just the worst ever. It's still hard dealing with day to day even now. Yeah, and people say, well, it's not your brother, it's your wife's brother, but I've been with Rach for 18 years. I've known Ashley since I was 11 years old, sorry. So losing him is so hard. As I say, mate, just day to day. People don't ever think. People look at the outside and look at the inside to me now, and he's got a nice car, lives in a nice house, he's got money. And I used to always think many years ago, people used to always say, like, if you've got money, money doesn't mean fuck all. And it's funny because when I used to hear people say that, I used to think it's only people who've got money who say that. Believe me, mate, when they say it, the only thing that money's good for is, okay, I don't get stressed out over day-to-day bills. And the other good thing it's good for is I can help people now and again, family members or whatever, if someone's struggling. Besides that, mate, it's just a deterrent to put a target on my back. Fame and money just put targets on your back, and it's just shit, mate. You can't. Fame is just an invasion of your privacy. That's why I hate it. And people will go, well, why do you work? Why do you on Sky Sports stuff like that? Because I enjoy going to boxing. So why shouldn't I get paid to talk about it? Because they want to pay me what you do. Say no. You know, I'll care about an awful lot more as I'm going on, but I hate fame because it's just an invasion of privacy. Things that have been done to me over the years, stories, made up lies, papers trying to catch me out and put women in front of me and stuff like that. Mate, have
they tried to do the old honey trap thing where they'd send girls over in a club? And
I tried it at the Hilton a few days before the fought in the rematch. So, absolute scum, mate.
Did you see it coming, did you?
No, well, it wasn't me seeing it. It was my good friend who's seen it, a footballer, buying tickets off me. Girl walks in, pretty girl walks in, stands at a bar, says, can you just show me outside to where the shop is, cricket, the clothes shop?
Yeah.
I said, listen, love, I wouldn't usually do this, but I can't. I said, I've got to go. My mate came over, this footballer, Craig Gardner, said a few unpleasant words to the girl. I said, what are you doing? He said, this is a setup. I said, what do you mean? He said, what she asked you to do? I said, she asked me to show her to a shop. She said, it's just over there, isn't it, somewhere? And I went, well, yes, you'd say something like that. He said, it's a setup. Look outside the door where they are. 2 paparazzi with a camera.
And you'd walked outside.
To catch you walking out with her.
I'd have walked out with her, and then she talks in me as we're outside the hotel.
She leans in.
That is outrageous.
So they can't say, they just see her face leaning in.
Yeah, and that's what I tried to do a couple of days before I fought David in the rematch. And I didn't fall for it, thanks to Craig, to guards, my mates who stopped it. And I've had many situations like that. Now, how innocent is that for me just to show it?
Of course, yeah.
They perceive that as me walking out of a hotel, as if I've been in the hotel in the middle of a day afternoon.
Yeah.
And that's the story. It's horrible, mate. It's horrible.
Did Hollywood, was that because of the film as well? As well as obviously achievements in sport, that was like another level.
I've never experienced that since, but I've seen different. I'm so, what's the word? Guarded. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm so paranoid. I don't trust people. I just don't trust people anymore. I've got to either say, you'll see Greg through my career, I had a very small circle of people around me. I wasn't someone who had 10, 20 people, 30 people, some of these champions have around them.
An entourage,
Yeah, I wasn't one of these people who had an entourage. I've had the same friends who went to school since I was 11 years old. There's about 8 of us. I had one man through my career that has stood by me from start to finish. Well, a couple of it, Gary Disley, Franny Perry, stood by me from the start till the end of my career. They were with me all the way through, especially Gary Disley. Experienced everything, was in the movie with me everywhere. We went everywhere together. Still my closest friend now, best man at my wedding, along with him and Neil Dans. He'll be a friend for life, and I didn't need any more in my team. I had a boxing coach, I had a nutritionist in Kerry Kays. I had a strength and conditioning in Dave Bellews. I was close with some of the Everton lads. Sylvan Destan, me and Sylvan are still close. I speak to him sometimes. He was at my wedding. Other things, you know, I go and get a big dunk. The chairman's my friend. So I have a network of friends around me, but I trust very few, mate. I've changed my number since I finished boxing, and very few have got it. Very few. So my phone doesn't ring as much these days, and I don't really agree to do much as I possibly can. It's not nice, mate. The world of fame and it's not for me. It's just not for me. I'm someone who speaks their mind too much. The meeting that we had before working on Saturday night was unbelievable for Sky. The things that should be said and shouldn't be, that should be said and shouldn't be said on TV, unbelievable, mate.
Yeah.
I was
Has
told,
that changed in the last 12 months as well?
I was told it was basically racist to say Mexicans tough.
That's right.
racial.
It's a stereotype.
It's a stereotype.
There was a big thing about Souness on the weekend, wasn't there?
Wow, what's he done?
He just spoke about Moise Keane, compared him to Adebayor, but without anything really to back it up.
I watched that. He didn't actually say he was like Moise Keane. Or did you know what? I didn't see that. Was this after the game?
He basically said he was trouble off the field, but there was nothing to back it up. So the only link between the two was the colour of the skin and the way they look, really. So that's what people are saying. There's been a few articles about.
He was saying why have Juventus let it?
Because I see Mourinho talk. Was it Mourinho?
Yeah, Mourinho was praising him.
Yeah, because I see Mourinho. I seen them say. I seen before the game, and they were saying that. Well, they don't know why, but it could be this. They didn't say he is that. They didn't say he's lazy. That's why he's being legged.
No, he didn't say that. It was speculative. Yeah.
Most of it isn't racial. It's just a slight bit of naivety and the coaching that's coming in that you just mentioned now about what to say and all that.
The world is begging to be offended.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm telling you, mate. People are begging to be offended. If you don't like what someone says, so what?
Yeah.
It's an opinion.
Yeah.
It's the same as an arsehole. We've all got one. Mate, we've all got arseholes.
Some are shittier than others.
That's it, mate. It's an opinion. What's the big problem? But people these days are lining up and begging to be offended. It does my nutting. Like, as I say, there's certain things you can and can't say.
I can't say Mexicans tough. That's tickle me off.
Mate,
in boxing as well.
Mate, they're the hardest nation I know. You know what I mean? You're producing the likes of Eric Morales, Marc Antonio Barrera, Julio Cesar Chavez, icons of the game,
warriors,
legendary fighters of the game, and it's not a coincidence that they're from Mexico. Look at how they're bred to fight from there. It's just madness, mate. It's like saying Russians aren't cold. They are, mate. Every Russian I've met's cold. He's just cold. That's the way they are. That's the nation. It doesn't mean they're bad people. They're just cold ass people. It is what they are. It's what are Scousers. Scousers are mouthy and funny, you know. And we speak funny. Is that right? I don't know. What am I? I don't know. My ma's black. My dad's white. What am I? I don't know. People say when I fill in one of them forms, say, "What are you?" I say, "I'm confused." I'm mixed race, but they say, "What mixed race?" I say, "I don't know. Go and ask me mum and dad. I haven't got a clue." It's just the world's begging to be offended, lad. It's embarrassing where we're going with it. You just can't. It's going to end up, mate, where we all just have a zipper on our mouths. That's how the world's going. It is one fucked up place.
And I think that's why people have valued you, though. It's because you haven't fallen into the. You could easily have just come out with the soundbite mentality in interviews and just regurgitated cliches.
Oh, mate.
Because you did speak your mind. You mastered it. There wasn't that much criticism. You got away with it largely.
Mate, I've got away with an awful lot, but there's so much things I've said on Sky over the years. I mean, that I don't know whether I'm supposed to. No one's ever told me what to say on Sky, to be fair, but I don't think they've told me what to say because they absolutely know the answer they get. So, but even on anything you do, it's just mad, mate.
What about the panel? They think it's all over. Do you have to be a bit more careful on that?
Do you think it's all over? Have I done that?
It's not. They think it's all over. The Corden one.
A League of Their Own.
League of Their Own.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to anything. No one's given me. The only time I've ever read off a script, mate, was Creed. And to be totally honest, I wrote my own part for Creed.
Did you?
I sat down with Kugler, the director, and we went over what you thought you'd say. He wanted it to be as real as possible. And he wanted it to be, I want you to be the Scouser from Liverpool, and I want you to think how world champion would think. And I was like, Cougs, I've never been a world champion yet. And he was like, trust me, you're not a world champion. You're our world champion. You're good enough to be a world champion. I was like, okay, well, this is what a world champion would do. I told him what a world champion, the clothes he'd wear, things like that. That's what we done. So all the Creed stuff became between us, and what an amazing director. He listened and took on board the things you'd say. When it comes to A League of Their Own, No, they've never told me what to say. They put the tasks to me, and me, like a silly fucker, kept doing them. And the reason I kept doing them, because you pay me enough, mate, I'm going to try and do it in the end, but have I shit myself 10 times over? Absolutely, yeah. You know, who gets stuck to a plane and fires on a plane when he's scared of heights? It's just stupid, but...
Do you quite enjoy that?
I hated it at first.
Yeah.
But no, I've enjoyed it, to be fair. I've liked it. Corden I find great. We get on great with him. Jamie Redden I've always liked. Flintoff's a good lad. I've got a soft spot for Ramesh Ranganathan. I get on great with him. So he's a funny guy, mate. He's just really funny, and he's really dry, and I just get a sense of humour. So yeah, there's a few of them that I've met from the celebrity circuit. Like Haye being classed as a celebrity, I'm not a celebrity, mate. I'm just a normal fella. But I look at them people as being, well, you know what? I don't, because I stopped looking at people being celebrities and special than anybody else. A long time ago, meeting Tim Cahill. I remember the first time I met Tim Cahill. You come to watch me fight in Bolton's, go down by the Reebok Stadium, used to be an indoor stadium. Him and 2 or 3 other Everton players. Michael, Ibo, TC. There's another one, Andy Johnson. And they come to watch me there, and a couple of weeks later I got invited into Finch Farm to meet them, and that. And I thought, when I first met him, I was like, oh my God, it's Tim Cahill, it's this and that. And he was like, listen, he said, I'm the same as you. He said, I just kick a football for a living. You punch people in the face for a living. And then it was only shortly after I started training with their head fitness coach, Dave Bellew, who was their head fitness coach for a decade at Goodison Park. And I was in Finch Farm all the time, got to know them, and you just realise the normal lads just kick a ball for a living. So slowly but surely I realised everyone in life, we're all just people. I don't care whether you're black, white, yellow, pink, beige. You're just a person, mate. You've got feelings the exact same as me. What I do or what I've done doesn't define who I am. Just because I'm a boxer and you've done what, it doesn't mean anything, mate. I'm just a normal person, the same as everyone else, and that's what I've learned going through life. Just to treat people the way you want to be. I don't care if I fell on the street with not a pot of piss in me. It's just still nice to be nice to him.
Yeah, totally agree. We're all human beings, and we're not defined by our roles or our careers either, or our status or our financial stability.
I wish everyone else had the same thing, but you know what, the world we live in, mate. They don't these days, and people think there's something they're not. You have rude people, obnoxious people, nasty people, and the saddest part is when you get people from your own people turning on you, which you find is with that fame brings success. It's sad that some people want to see you do well, but not better than them. That's another sad part in life, mate. Whereas I just never ever had that about me.
I think social media and that though is created this thing where everyone's always comparing themselves to each other.
I'm always telling people, mate, social media is a lie.
It's highlights, innit?
Social media is a lie, mate.
Do you try and keep your boys away from it as much as you can?
As much as I possibly can. It's
well,
not real.
Easier said than done, isn't it, with lads who are 14?
I've took them off my phone. They're not on my phone. I don't have social media on my phone. So if I need to do it, if I need to look it up, post something, I very rarely post these days on social media.
Yeah, you don't do it.
So when, I'll do it when I need to, or I'll look at it for whatever reason. And yes, it's still me, but very rarely when I want to, well, I let it consume my time, because it's not real. What you're seeing on Instagram, no one's living the perfect life. I'm sorry to fuck your day up, but ain't no one living no perfect life. No one's just waking. I mean, everyone on Instagram's a millionaire. Everyone's got a Rolex. Everyone's driving a Mercedes. That's not real life, mate. Take a picture when you wake up first thing in the morning. See girls with the perfect done, the picture, the makeup, and they look beautiful, yeah, but gee, is that how you look first thing in the morning when you wake up?
There's people in America, right, on like the private airfields and that.
Yeah.
Jumping over fences to get pics with private jets for Instagram.
Oh, like a Learjet,
mate.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly.
I'm just getting on a private jet. Unbelievable, mate. It's frightening. The way the world's gone with the way you're supposed to look and the way certain things are supposed to look is unbelievable, but I don't know. I'm trying to distance myself and stay away from it as much as possible. But I'll say for some business things it is good, yeah. And then for the roles I have with certain companies, yeah, it's needed, but it's not real. If anything, I think it's a bit of a detriment on society. I think it's here for the worst. I don't think it's here for the better.
There are aspects of it that are beneficial. I think I don't agree with demonising iPhones because they improve lives.
Yeah,
Having all that information available is just
fantastic.
unreal, and we're lucky, aren't we?
At the tip of your hand, that's fantastic. Yeah. But then I also think you've got people putting people down so bad that they're hanging and killing themselves.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. You know, I seen a fella, I think it was come out of Love Island, and said to I'm depressed, and he said, why are you depressed? He said, because the level of fame I've acquired since coming out of Love Island, you're not paying me enough money to acquire the what I need to deal with this level of fame. I was like, are you fucking kidding? He's depressed because of that. Are you fucking kidding me? Why would money or fame or have any sort of importance on your day-to-day way of life? You've woke up and you're healthy. You've got 2 arms and 2 legs.
Yeah.
And you've got a roof over your head. How could you not be happy?
You're not born in a war zone.
Exactly. You're on Syria.
Belly, roof over your head.
But if
you're on Syria, don't get me wrong, mate. As I said before, people will go, it's all well and you good saying that, but I know that's important now in life. And money just it's not as important as you think. And they'll always have people without money will always harbour on about it, and people with it will always go on and tell you it's not what you think. It's not as important, and you find that out. Because I was always chasing that when I was fighting. And when it comes, all of a sudden you think, what was all the fuss about? It's not a big deal. It's just not. But
it's good that you've managed to maintain that humility, even though you've made a lot of money from, especially your past.
As I say, mate, I've done great. I mean, I'm skint, but I've got a rich wife. So I've just you just learn to deal with it, and you just, as I said, it's hard to deal with day-to-day things of people think I'm something I'm not. That's the part I will always struggle with the most. I don't mind having pictures here, there and everywhere, and I must take, if I go out the house and I'm anywhere, I'll take 20 to 30 a day. Well, a bad day, 100. But that's the part I'll always struggle with, is I'm not, don't make me out to be something I'm not. I'm just a normal fella, I'm just a normal fella who had an insane amount of determination and dedication and desire to achieve something that he dreamed of doing, and thankfully and lucky enough I achieved it, and it worked out in the end. But believe you me, mate, like I said before, don't meet day for day. I've achieved my dream, I've done all that, but then I leave the game potless if I don't meet day for day. And so I'm always thankful to him for that. I owe him. I don't owe him for that because I gave him the rematch when I didn't have to, but I've repaid me that by giving him that rematch. But I'm very, very good. That's the reason why I don't hate him. I don't hate him the way people would think I would do now. I'm always indebted to him. But I've repaid the debt, but I will always hold him in that affectionate way, because of this man, my family is now secure. I don't have to worry about them when they're older, because obviously I'm not scared of nothing. I've never been scared of anything in my whole life. It's probably, like I say, I've got a screw loose, but the only things that frighten me from here on in is my kids. It's the only thing in the world. It petrifies me of what the thoughts they're going to do. I've just come back off a holiday, went to Turkey, and I'll finish this quick because I'm sure we've well run over anyway. But went to Turkey, went to the old town in Turkey in Antalya. I'm sitting there, we're having a meal with my son. I need to go to the toilet as always because I can't stop pissing because I've got a weak bladder these days. Go to the toilet, my youngest little boy Carl says, Dad, can I come to the toilet with you? Says, yeah, come on, let's go. Go to the toilet. To get this toilet, mate, you have to get down basically a ladder. Mate drops down, goes down another set of stairs, goes in the toilet. As I walks into it, a strange man outside the toilet. Didn't like the look of me. He looked like a beggar. I just didn't like the look of me. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he just didn't add up. I thought, well, I'm not going to say nothing, mind my own business, leave him to it, doing what he's doing. I went in the toilet, me and Carter, he's on one year and I'm on the other, he's only 6. I said, when you finish, go and wash your hands and stay and wait for Dad. He said, okay, Dad, I've finished. Literally 2 seconds after him. Turned around, Carter, not there. I said, Carter, stop winding me up. I thought he don't hide in the cubicle, he's messing around with me. He's not there. I thought, did he wash his hands? He's not in the toilet area. I've come out of this place, it's pitch black in the area of the toilet that I'm in. There's a set of 10 steps going down to the left, and there was then the ladder of stairs to get back up. So I know when I've come out, he couldn't have possibly got back up that ladder in that 4 or 5 seconds that it's been from when we're both winning. I screamed his name. The panic the worst panic, and it gives me my heart now thinking about it. I screamed his name, heard nothing. Screaming his name again, I heard nothing. For some reason in my mind, all I could think about was me me little boy's been took and someone's got their hand over his mouth, stopping him, replying to me, screaming his name. I run, and bear in mind, I've snapped my ligaments in my leg, they were nowhere near healed. I ran, I don't know, and I jumped the whole of the 10 stairs. I hit the floor, rolled over and smashed my head into a car. And at the bottom, I didn't even think what was going on. I screamed his name all over the road, but I could see, he's got to be on this road screaming his name. All the tourists come out looking around, what's up? I've run away from them because I couldn't see him. As I've run back towards the thing, a man's come to me and says to me, what's the matter? I said, my son's gone, there was a man here, he's gone, and my son's gone. I don't know what's going on. He said, don't worry, don't panic, you're in Turkey. I told him a few unpleasant words, fuck off away from me, my son's gone. I run up the stairs and up that ladder dead quick to go and tell Rach what had happened. And as I ran up the stairs, he was sitting right in front of his mother, mate.
Bloody hell. I
said, Rach, Carter's gone. And she said, he's there. And I looked at his little face, and I've known Rach since we were that baby. She's never seen worry like that in my face. I walked over, and mate, I just broke down crying. I've never been so, I thought my son had gone. I've never, ever in all my years had a fright or a fear like that in my whole life. So if someone's felt that, mate, I understand what you feel.
Who'd have kids? After
mate, that is the worst feeling.
Okay.
Mate, he was there sitting there,
just
and then the men come over to me.
He just finished that, washing his hands back to
and then ran up the stairs to mum and left me. And I always tell him, don't ever leave my sight when we're anywhere. But when I seen him, mate, and then I come over and I had to walk away from the house. The mummy son see me upset. And as I walked away, the waiters come over and I said a few, I said, fuck off and leave me alone. I just couldn't get my head together. And I apologised to him after, but he said to me, this is Turkey, you don't understand, this would never happen here. We have cameras all over the place. I said, what you don't understand is when people are sick and they want to do sick things to people, they don't care about cameras, they don't see cameras, they see the child and they take them. And he's so little and fragile that he's gone, and once they're gone, but mate, that was the worst feeling I have ever felt. I would not wish that on anybody.
Thank God he was okay.
Mate, and he was okay, yeah. But that was the worst feeling, mate, I've ever had. I will never, ever let my eyes off him, even for a second, ever again. So anyone who listens to that, I understand how you feel. But it's the worst feeling in my whole life. Makes me feel sick thinking about it.
Was there a dent in the car, by the way?
Made me head, as I jumped up the step, I
rolled a rematch.
I just went boom with my head. And to be fair, I only remembered it because of how heavy the bang was. I don't remember what type of car it was I hit. Just the bang when I hit it. And I definitely put a dent in it in my forehead. But the people must have thought I was drunk. Because if a fella's rolling around the floor, he's smacked into a car and then he's getting up screaming a name all over the place. It's just Carter. And then I tried getting back up the stairs and then back to the police, mate. Frightening. I don't even know how I've got to that story and telling you.
Alright, mate, well listen, it's been incredible. Thanks so much for your honesty, for sharing, for coming in, mate.